Now at 5 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, a former Uvalde police officer is in court today facing charges from the botched response to the 2022 elementary school shooting. And a local man is accused of assaulting a police officer. We have that story. Plus, Houston City Council is working on some upgrades. More on what they learned after Hurricane Beryl.
We had a couple areas that had some pretty heavy rain today. You might have missed it, but it did happen. You can see how we still have the cloud cover. The downpours will continue for a couple more days. But to give you an idea, Corpus Christi had 10 inches of rain today. We'll talk all about that coming up in a moment.
President Biden addressed the nation about his decision to drop out of the race for presidency. Now both parties are adjusting as Vice President Kamala Harris becomes the Democratic frontrunner. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Karina Garcia. Today is an alert day, so let's take a look at your forecast with our chief meteorologist, Mac Bettis, joining us now in the studio. Mac, we had some weather on Monday, Tuesday. It's now Thursday. How much more weather can we see, and is it going to ruin our weekend plans?
Well, I think that the weekend may turn out, but it's over the weekend when a lot of this is going to change. The pattern has, shall we say, stuck around. We have that little frontal system. We had stormy weather to the south and then stormy weather to the north. Now, this activity is taking care of all of the coastal band. And you know what? Some people are happy. Now, the rainfall in the inland areas out toward Uvalde and Laredo, that has been good today. But I'm going to show you one that was quite amazing right here in Corpus Christi, right there about 7, 8 o'clock this morning. A big old pile of rain, about 10 inches fell. And obviously they had quite a bit of flooding out of that. This rain will be again heavy, pardon me, on Friday and Saturday, but then it begins to clear out on Sunday, and we'll be talking more about that coming up in just a moment. Karina, back to you.
Mac, thank you. One of the first officers to respond to the Uvalde school massacre pleaded not guilty to 29 counts of abandoning and endangering a child. These charges stem from the botched police response to the 2022 mass shooting. A gunman killed 19 children and 2 teachers that day. Former school district police officer Adrian Gonzalez is accused of failing to follow active shooter training. Gonzalez says he left to call for a SWAT team but never returned. Another officer, Pete Arredondo, faces 10 counts of child endangerment. If convicted, Gonzalez could face up to 2 years in prison. So here is your viewer poll this afternoon. The question is a 2-year sentence enough for the former Uvalde officer if he's convicted? Yes or no, it should be longer, or no, it should be shorter. We want to hear your opinion on this. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News now at 6 and 10. Victoria police arrested a 22-year-old man Wednesday. Victor Lucio of Victoria is charged with assault of a police officer. He remains in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of a $40,000 bond. And Lavaca County deputies arrested a man Wednesday. Antonio Valderas is charged with engaging in organized criminal activity. That charge is from Ellis County. He is at the Lavaca County Jail in lieu of a $500,000 bond. He also has an ICE detainer. Now, the family of the late U.S. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee have announced funeral arrangements. Jackson Lee will lie in state next Monday at Houston City Hall. She is the second person to have this honor. The first was Dr. Michael D. Bakey. A community farewell and appreciation service is scheduled for Tuesday at Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church. A celebration of life service takes place Wednesday at Fallbrook Church. Family members plan to live stream all services and tributes. Hurricane season has only just begun, and Houston City Council is looking at making some significant changes to prepare for future storms, from ensuring community centers to staying operational to providing essential supplies like ice. And they say these upgrades are crucial, and some council members are arguing these improvements are necessary after the shortcomings witnessed during Hurricane Beryl.
As the death toll grows from Hurricane Beryl, emotions are still running high as to how Houston prepared.
I don't have any attaboys today or attagirls today.
More than 2 weeks ago, City Council member Tiffany Thomas says her district needed more assistance after the storm hit.
I had seniors charging life alerts in their cars, ventilators in their cars, and there was no support.
Emergency leaders met with council today to lay out what they did before the storm. They say at the end of June it became on their radar. But a week before it made landfall, they held their first call with state emergency leaders. The next day, they had discussions with the Coast Guard, police, and public works. 3 days before the storm, they staged equipment. The day before, they fully activated the Emergency Operations Center, a plan they say saved lives.
Because of that, HFD was able to respond in the middle of the storm to 3,003 calls.
It didn't all go well. When the power went out, few community centers had generators.
I'm going to make generators probably one of the highest priorities.
It wasn't just power that went out, but cell phone towers to improve communication. They want to utilize churches and volunteers to spread information in person, changes they can make now. As for long-term goals like providing ice, it may take more time. After Hurricane Beryl, the city trucked in $200,000 worth of ice from Kentucky. Emergency leaders say that's something they can't do before a storm arrives.
How do we know that that area is not going to be impacted? How do we know that debris or trees aren't going to fall in that trailer? Who's going to man those trailers? Security issues.
To fix this, they want a warehouse where ice can be created and stored. No timeline was given on how that could happen or how the city plans to pay for it. Improvements, though, city leaders say need to happen in case millions lose power again.
There's been a lot of neglect. We know that. We have a great city, great people, but we have challenges that we've got to address.
Vice President Kamala Harris delivered the keynote speech at the American Federation of Teachers' 88th National Convention today in Houston. She became the Democratic presidential nominee after President Joe Biden decided to end his re-election bid, which he spoke about in an Oval address Wednesday night.
Today, we face a choice between two very different visions for our nation. One focused on the future, and the other focused on the past. And we are fighting for the future.
The AFT announced it was backing Harris' White House bid hours after Biden announced he was dropping out. Harris is expected to announce a running mate within the next 2 weeks. And it's a new day in the race for the White House following President Biden's address to the nation. And both the Republican and Democrat parties are adjusting for a new Democratic frontrunner.
It was a speech aimed at both the preservation of democracy and the progress of it. President Joe Biden has set forth his hopes for the rest of his term. Top of mind, helping elect Vice President Kamala Harris.
She's been an incredible partner to me and a leader for our country. Now the choice is up to you, the American people.
Harris ascended to the top of the ticket within days. The Democratic Party appears united behind making her its nominee.
Let me just say, she is capable officially, personally, and politically to lead us to victory in November.
Former President Donald Trump and running mate Senator J.D. Vance are adjusting to the change. Trump dropping the calls for unity he pledged less than 2 weeks ago following the attempt on his life. While hosting a rally in North Carolina Wednesday, Trump went after Harris's involvement in the Biden administration. And today, attacking her character on Fox and Friends.
And, she ran against Biden. And I thought he was terrible, but she was terrible. She was horrible. And she was the meanest person up there. She was meaner to him than anybody else. Not a very good debater, but nasty, just nasty to him.
With the VP vetting process on a fast track, today Harris released her first official campaign video since jumping into the race for president. It features Beyonce's Freedom, fit to Harris's message.
There are some people who think we should be a country of chaos, of fear, of hate. But us, we choose something different. We choose freedom.
Trump and Vance have also attacked the process that propelled Harris, calling the Democrats' change in ticket anti-democratic. The former president is set to speak at a Bitcoin conference in Nashville today. Harris delivers the keynote at a teachers union event in Houston. Cristiano Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Today, protests against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's visit to Washington, D.C. continued. Authorities blocked off 2 areas in front of the White House to prevent any potential problems in the area during Biden and Harris's meeting with Netanyahu. So far, protesters have caused traffic problems in the nation's capital since his arrival. Wednesday, protesters clashed with pro-Israel demonstrators, resulting in a number of arrests. Sources tell CNN Biden will forcefully urge Netanyahu to accept a ceasefire deal for the people in Gaza. Now remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. Authorities in California arrested a person suspected of starting a wildfire. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, how investigators connected the person to the blaze. Also ahead, Democratic lawmakers held a press conference making World IVF Day. Today, arson investigators have arrested a man suspected of igniting the park fire in Butte County, California. Witnesses identified the 42-year-old suspect after reportedly seeing someone pushing a car on fire into that area shortly before 3 p.m. yesterday. The county's DA said the man was seen calmly leaving the area by blending in with the other citizens who were already in that area fleeing the rapidly evolving fire. The arson suspect's name has not yet been released, but he is being held without bail pending his arraignment, which is set for Monday. Long-lasting stress can affect our health, leading to physical reactions like headaches, body and stomach aches. It can also worsen other health problems and mental health conditions.
It can be hard juggling work, family, and all the things in between.
More people than ever are reporting feeling chronically stressed. Stress that happens to all of us, but then that stress never goes away.
Chasing Life podcast host Dr. Sanjay Gupta says long-lasting stress puts your body into overdrive as levels of the primary stress hormone cortisol rise and increases the heart rate.
Could leave you feeling dizzy, could leave you feeling nauseated. If it's just short-term stress, which again we all have, then your cortisol levels will go back down. But with chronic stress, your levels stay elevated. It's kind of like leaving your foot on the accelerator of your car.
Gupta says some of the best ways to fight back against chronic stress are to get enough good quality sleep. Those Z's allow your body to relax and focus on having a healthy diet.
Comfort foods can be comforting, but also stress-inducing in the long run.
If social media or news events are stressing you out, take a break. Instead, spend time with family and friends. Gupta says staying connected is key to relieving stress. There's also relief in things like deep breathing and meditation.
One of the most helpful tools, probably exercise. Exercise releases these feel-good endorphins, and you can even tailor the exercise to your specific mood.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Today is World IVF Day. July 25th is the day the world recognizes the fertility advances leading to the first successful birth through IVF in 1978. More than 8 million babies have been born using this technology. Doctors remove an egg from a woman's body and fertilize it with a sperm in a laboratory before implanting it. The technique was first developed in the 1970s to help women with blocked fallopian tubes. Today, House Democrats held a press conference marking this historic discovery.
Democrats are proud to stand on the side of the American people, but we will not let up till reproductive freedom is returned to every woman, to every family, in every zip code in this country.
Today, IVF is used to help conception in other ways. About 2 out of every 100 people born in the United States are the result of IVF. A new study says the ending of the 2023 film Barbie, where Barbie visited a gynecologist, influenced online search around this area. Authors analyzed 34 search inquiries related to understanding this type of care. They found in the week following the film's release, searches for a gynecologist rose 51%. They also examined the influence for the search gynecologist combined with what does a gynecologist do. That category saw a 154% increase.
We have Barbie to thank for that. She changed the world. How about that? Well, good afternoon, everyone. 83 degrees, cloudy and rainy. Now, you're saying to yourself, it didn't rain in my house. Well, it may not have rained in your house, but it has rained around the area. We'll be looking at that because some totals have been quite impressive. Our 83 was actually our high today, compares to what our average high is 96. Unfortunately, we're going to be going back there by the time we get to next week. We'll talk more about the rain and the next week forecast coming up in a moment. Back, everybody. Here's an interesting photo. I'll give you some context. This is the Padre Island National Seashore, and this is the road that goes from Padre Island to Port Aransas. I believe it's 361. They had 10 inches of rain on it today, and you couldn't see the road. It was all flooded out because of the significant rainfall that fell. Now, this little frontal system here is one of the reasons why we keep triggering the shower activity. You can almost see how the winds are flowing out of the north on that side and coming up out of the south on this side. And of course, that causes the lifting. So the showers have been around the area, maybe not at your house, but certainly around the region. And you know what? A lot of people are much happier because even places like Lake Travis up in north of Austin has gotten a real good renewed with rain showers. Choke Canyon, Canyon Dam have all gotten some pretty good lifts in the amount of water that's in there. So the rain is not bad. The rain is good. It's just we don't want it with flooding problems that inconvenience everybody. But that stationary front will continue the rain. Now, let me show you. Here's Corpus Christi. Here's where I'm talking about. Somewhere through the morning hours. Right, okay, a Thursday morning right there. Boom. You see that big, huge thunderstorm parked itself right over the area. Places like Corpus Christi Naval Air Station, they got about 7 inches of rain, so it was all over this place. They got a real downpour. Now, we're of course obviously looking at we get on into the week, and the rain chance will be ending this weekend, but not for tomorrow. Now, here's Victoria County. You can see the southern half of the county got the heavier activity. Calhoun, this is the last 12 hours, also got some significant rainfall, as we did out at St. Joe's Island, and of course up toward Bay City. But notice right here, see this yellow? Right along there, the National Seashore, that's the 10-inch rainfall right on top of that. And so we're, looking up here off the scale. Pretty amazing stuff. So the counties, including Victoria, all the way up to Houston, all the way down into San Patricio, are under the flash flood watch for tonight and tomorrow. Because we still expect more of these isolated thunder showers. Here's Future Tracker. We're going forward into Thursday night. We see that activity sort of dwindle down a little bit, and then we get into Friday morning, and then we start getting more widespread coverage. By sunrise, another band of storms. I told you there was going to be about 3 waves of showers will develop, and for Friday afternoon, we'll see a couple of rain showers as well. Now you're sitting there wondering, hey, what about my weekend? Well, I think your Saturday is still going to be on the soggy side, but by Sunday, we may start seeing a little sun. So isolated showers continue around the Port Lavaca area, as you can see right about there. And then we'll forward this and we'll look at Cuero's forecast. So again, another wet day with showers, a couple of thunderstorms, but the temperature's staying in the 80s. That's not bad at all. And so let's take a look at your forecast, all right? We've got alert day for Friday because of potential heavy downpours. Then Saturday, pretty much the same thing. Sunday, a little bit of a decrease in the activity, and I do believe by Monday we'll actually see the sun. We may see a little bit of sun Sunday afternoon, but for sure Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, we start warming up. Temperatures get back up into the mid-90s, and the rain chance will be going away. By that time, we will have probably received in excess of 7 inches of rain this week. So, when you can get that kind of rain and not have serious flooding problems, well, that's a good thing. That is your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. And here's Karina.
Next on 25 News Now 5, we're going to take a look at your stocks. Plus, a surge in uninsured drivers is helping make auto insurance more expensive for the rest of us in the U.S. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow up 81 points, the S&P 500 down 28 points, and the Nasdaq down 161 points. Oil up 69 cents, closing at $78.28 per barrel. As the cost of auto insurance increases, the number of uninsured drivers has also increased. According to Bankrate, the average yearly cost of full coverage car insurance is up 12% in the last year alone. One Insurance Research Council says the issue started at the beginning of the pandemic. New data shows uninsured drivers increased to 14% in 2022, an increase of 11% from 2019. Washington, D.C., New Mexico, and Mississippi are among the areas with the highest percentage of uninsured drivers. For the first time in 53 years, Southwest Airlines will have assigned seats, and it will start charging for premium seats with more legroom. They also announced it will start offering overnight red-eye flights for the first time. There's no details on when these changes will go into effect, but the premium seats will not be available until 2025. Southwest is trying to regain its footing after struggling in recent years. Today, the company reported a 51% drop in profit to $370 million, despite reported record revenue for that year's quarter. And stay with us. We're going to take one last look at your forecast when we come back. Plus, this weekend is for the geeks and the nerds. Comic-Con makes a return post-pandemic. Plus, here's a look at world news tonight, right after 25 News Now at 5.
Tonight, Israel's prime minister face-to-face with President Biden, Vice President Harris, and GOP nominee Donald Trump as boycotts and protests follow him. More Americans turn to world news tonight with David Muir, the most-watched newscast on television.
North America's largest fan gathering kicked off today in a post-pandemic return to form, and that's San Diego's Comic-Con. It's the first regular Comic-Con convention in 5 years. It had back-to-back cancellations, then instituted COVID protocols during the pandemic. Then last year, the SAG-AFTRA union strike forced nearly every studio to pull its panels. This year's convention is expected to draw in near 130,000 people. It runs through Sunday, and Wednesday night was preview night. So a bunch of big toys, bunch of like a big Halloween party. Is how I
I was
see
going to
it.
say it's an early start to Halloween.
Yeah, it's a big fest. Look at them.
But they know they
go all
research
out.
their characters and their Gamora and their Loki and all those.
Oh, okay, so you're up to date.
Well,
to
I've seen the
degree.
movies. I don't really get it, but they get real excited about this. I guess it was my generation's version, Superman or Popeye. You remember Popeye?
Okay, I remember Popeye.
Oh, good.
That's not just your generation.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, we will get a few more showers in a couple of days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, maybe over the weekend. On Saturday, we'll get big downpours, but by Sunday, that's when it starts to change. And I think that by next week, we'll be looking at more sunshine and warmer temperatures as the rain is finally over.
And then we hit back into those 90s.
Yeah, we'll be in the mid-90s by next week. I didn't want to talk about that too much.
You know what? We are in July, but it doesn't feel as hot as it was last
85?
July.
Well, last year we were in the hundreds.
Yeah. I can do this one.
60 days of 100 degrees last year.
All right. Well, we'll pull through.
We'll take the clouds.
Thank you, Mac. And thank you for joining us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.